Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your home for the hottest Liverpool updates. Today we've got huge drama. Marc Guehi fuming after his Liverpool move collapses, Rio Ferdinand calling out Crystal Palace, Salah opening up on struggles with Hugo Ekitike reacting to Liverpool's pursuit of Alexander Isak. Stick around, this one's packed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Marc Guehi decides his next move after being left furious at Liverpool transfer collapse Crystal Palace. Captain Marc Guehi has been forced to stay with the club after they pulled the plug on his £35 million deadline day transfer to Liverpool at the last minute. Marc Guehi is planning to leave Crystal Palace as a free agent next summer after seeing his deadline day move to Liverpool blocked. Guhei had expected to join Liverpool on Monday after Palace chairman Steve Parish accepted a £35 million offer for the centre-back. But despite completing a medical in London and having a private jet booked to whisk him to Merseyside, the deal fell apart. Parish changed his mind at the last minute after Palace manager Oliver Glasner threatened to resign. Glasner had made it clear for weeks that Guhei could not be sold without a replacement arriving and was willing to walk on principle. Ultimately, the Palace boss got his way, but he has been left with an extremely angry Guhei, who feels let down by his club and is now considering giving up the captaincy. The 25-year-old defender has been praised for his professionalism during the saga, having continued to play and concentrate on football. He played and scored in the 3-0 win over Aston Villa on Sunday, which he believed would be his final game for the club. But having joined up with England for the international break at St. George's Park, he has decided his next step, according to the Times. Guhei has decided to resist any suggestion of signing a new contract with Palace, who he has represented since July 2021. He plans to deprive them of earning a transfer fee by leaving as a free agent when his contract expires on July 1, 2026, rather than departing in the January transfer window. That is exactly the eventuality that Parish had been keen to avoid initially. The co-owner and chairman had been open about the need for Palace to consider their financial reality and sanctioned the £67.5 million sale of Ebereki Eze to Arsenal. He also knew that Monday represented the last chance for the club to bring in a decent fee for Guhei. If Marc wants to sign a new contract, then he can stay, Parish said after the 1-0 win over Fredrikstad in the Conference League playoffs. It's a difficult situation. Everyone has to sell players to comply with the rules. That's a situation that we will have to look at in the next 11 days. However, Palace failed to secure a direct replacement for Guhei, which enraged Glasner. The club thought they had agreed a loan move with Brighton for Igor Julio, but the Brazilian ended up choosing West Ham instead, after showing an interest in Manchester City's Manuel Akanji, Monaco's Mohamed Salah, and Rennes' Jeremy Jacquet. They signed Toulouse's 19-year-old defender J.D. Canvote for £21 million. Palace are next in action against Sunderland on September 13th at Selhurst Park in a match which is sure to be emotional for Guhei. The defender is currently away with England, who face Andorra and Serbia in World Cup qualifiers in the coming days, but will soon have to return to Palace. Rio Ferdinand accuses Crystal Palace of bullying Marc Guehi after Liverpool move collapse. Marc Guehi was on the verge of joining Liverpool from Crystal Palace, but the deal broke down, and Rio Ferdinand believes that the defender was bullied into staying. Former Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand has claimed that Crystal Palace bullied Marc Guehi after he was denied a deadline day transfer to Liverpool. Liverpool had agreed to sign Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak and Palace defender Guhei on deadline day, but only one of the moves transpired. Isak joined Liverpool for $167 million, a Premier League record, and Guhei was on the verge of completing a $47 million move. Palace hunted for a suitable replacement after the fee was agreed upon, but failed to land targets as the window slammed shut. Guhei was therefore forced to stay at the club, and Ferdinand has accused Palace of bullying him. It's been one of the most dramatic transfer windows in recent history. A record $4.15 billion was spent across the Premier League, with several players going to extreme lengths to force through summer moves. Isak trained in isolation, wrote a statement on social media clarifying his preference to leave Newcastle, and was finally allowed to join Liverpool. Newcastle replaced him with Brentford forward Jon Wissa, who also used several tactics to ensure he left the club. Guhei, on the other hand, has remained professional throughout and continued to play for Palace. According to Ferdinand, his politeness may be one reason he was denied the chance to join Liverpool. On his YouTube channel, Ferdinand sympathized with Guhei and suggested that Palace may have taken advantage of his respectable stance to ensure he stayed at the club. Marc Guehi, a wonderful, young, polite, respectable human being, Ferdinand said. I'm not saying Isak isn't because he is. I heard he is. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking and telling you what I know, because I know Marc Guehi. Beautiful young human being, dances and tiptoes around it, does things the right way, does things the way the media says it should be done. He's quiet, unassuming, non-confrontational. The fans love this. This is what they respect. This is what they like. Transfer deadline day, he don't even get a move. He's stuck. He's at Crystal Palace. They said, no, you're not going, because they knew he wasn't going to fight. He's not that way. So the club bully him. So the club say, no, you're not going anywhere. So we're going to take that move out of your hands. The dream move to the champions who could potentially win 3 or 4 trophies this year. Guehi's contract expires at the end of the season, meaning that he will be free to negotiate with foreign clubs in January. Should Guhei receive interest from abroad, he could sign a pre-contract agreement. However, if Guhei has his heart set on Liverpool, then the Premier League champions could sign him on a free contract next summer. Palace may have missed the chance to receive a respectable fee for Guhei, but his presence could be valuable as the club embarks on its first European adventure. Mohamed Salah admits difficulties with new Liverpool teammate Hugo Ekitike. Mohamed Salah is playing alongside a whole new array of stars in Arne Slot's new-look Liverpool attack, and it will take some time for him to click with Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool star Mohamed Salah has admitted that he is yet to get on the same page as Hugo Ekitike. Salah is playing in a new-look Reds attack alongside Ekitike and Florian Wirtz, with Alexander Isak also set to join the squad after the international break. Liverpool splashed around £450 million on new players in the summer transfer window, with Isak, Wirtz, and Ekitike the most expensive additions. They have taken the places of Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, who left in the window, and Diogo Jota, who tragically died in a car crash. Things have started well, with 3 successive wins in the Premier League over Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Arsenal, with Ekitike scoring in his first 2 Premier League games. But the overall performances have left a lot to be desired, with late goals needed in the first 2 games and a stunning Dominik Szoboszlai free kick required against the Gunners. Salah scored against the Cherries and assisted Rio Ferdinand, late winner at St. James's Park, but still hasn't found his feet. Speaking to the Men in Blazers podcast, he explained that it will take time for things to click with Ekitike and co. So far, I didn't figure the connections out yet, said Salah, like with Darwin or Lucho or the guys they used to play in front, or Diogo. I knew where to start with Diogo or Darwin. I know where to find them. I knew their game very well, but with Hugo, he's still new. Sometimes I need the ball in the field. Sometimes we need it in the space. We try to figure that out through the training sessions or like the videos. The manager shows us. So I will figure it out soon, because also it's going to help my game to grow as well. As well, the £125 million Isak, the £116 million Wirtz, and £69 million Ekitike, Salah is playing with the 17-year-old starlet Ngumoha. He showed his composure by side-footing in Salah's pass to seal the 3. 2 win over Newcastle, and he has a good mentor in the form of the Egyptian superstar. So what future is waiting for him? It depends how he's going to handle the situation, Salah said of Ngumoha. How are we going to work? I need to work hard and just stay humble because he's very young. I told him that some players peak too early and they're going to struggle after that. I really wish him the best. He has a good group here around him, and we always try to speak with him, and the manager, Arne Slot, also speaks to him. So he just need to stay humble and work and see how things go. Hugo Ekitike makes feelings known on Liverpool completing Alexander Isak. Transfer Hugo Ekitike has appeared to welcome Alexander Isak with open arms to Liverpool after the Reds and Newcastle agreed on a record-breaking deal that brings the Swede to Anfield. Hugo Ekitike has made his thoughts abundantly clear on Liverpool's acquisition of Alexander Isak. Following weeks of tense standoffs and fierce negotiations, Liverpool and Newcastle finally reached agreement on a record-breaking £125.169 million deal that brings Isak to Anfield. Should the Swede become the club's primary striker, it swiftly raises questions as to what manager Arne Slot will do with Ekitike. Since joining the Reds from Frankfurt for £79 million, $107 million, back in July, Ekitike has looked to be in fine form while netting 3 goals across the Community Shield and Liverpool's first 2 Premier League matches. Now that Isak is in the mix, however, Ekitike could lose his spot on the Reds' attacking line. The Frenchman appears to be harboring no ill will towards the Liverpool newcomer, however, as fans noticed that he liked the 25-year-old's post announcing his signing. An honor and a privilege to join this incredible club at Liverpool FC, Isak wrote on Instagram alongside a photo of himself putting pen to paper on the new contract. A proud day for me and my family. Can't wait to get going and see you all soon, Reds, YNWA. With 2 expensive center forwards now at his disposal, Slot might look to shift Ekitike to the left wing in place of Cody Gakpo. The 23-year-old, to his credit, expressed a willingness to take on any role that would best set Liverpool up for success. I mean, I do what the coach asked me to do. But yeah, I like to do everything, Ekitike explained. I can't define myself only as a striker who likes to finish. I like to play, I like to be in the game, in the collective part of play, and create also. So I can do both. I can play alone, and I like to play also with another striker. And I think that's what makes me versatile. But you know now in football you need to adapt. Isak, meanwhile, appears more than thrilled to be joining the Reds following a contentious few weeks leading up to his unceremonious departure from Newcastle. The Solna, Sweden native, refused to accompany the club on their pre-season tour of Asia and did not feature for the Magpies this season, while trying to force his exit from St. James's Park. Taking to social media in early August, Isak claimed that Newcastle's top brass had broken several of its promises made to him. This all now appears to be water under the bridge for Isak, who penned a heartfelt goodbye to the people he crossed paths with during his time in Newcastle. I want to express my gratitude to my teammates, the staff, and above all, the city of Newcastle, and all the amazing supporters for the 3 unforgettable years we shared together, he wrote. Together, we have written history and brought the club to the place where it truly belongs. It has been an honor to be part of the journey from reaching the Champions League to winning the first trophy in over 70 years. Forever grateful. Thank you, Newcastle. Liverpool target. Marc Guehi has made up mind on new Crystal Palace contract offer. England defender Marc Guehi was denied a deadline day move to Liverpool as Crystal Palace pulled the plug on the move in the closing hours of the summer transfer window. Marc Guehi has no intention of signing a contract extension at Crystal Palace after his transfer to Liverpool collapsed on deadline day. After a lengthy saga, it looked as though Guhei would get his dream move to the Reds in the closing hours of the window, only for Palace to pull the plug on the move. Guhei had already undergone the first stage of his medical when Palace chairman Steve Parish reneged on the agreement, reportedly because Oliver Glasner had threatened to quit the South London club if his captain were allowed to leave. The 25-year-old will now stay at Palace until January at the earliest, and it is not surprising to hear that he has no interest in signing an extension at Selhurst Park, beyond next June, when his current deal is due to expire. Unfortunately, from a Liverpool perspective at least, the Reds are unlikely to have the free run at Guhei that they seemingly had this summer. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Juventus are all said to be keen on the England international, whose stock has risen dramatically over the last 18 months. From January 1st, 2026, Guhei will be free to sign a pre-contract agreement with a foreign club ahead of a free transfer the following summer, when Guhei would be likely to pocket a hefty signing-on fee on top of a lucrative contract. There is also the possibility of Liverpool attempting to sign Guhei for a reduced fee in January, but there are no guarantees that Guhei will end up at Anfield after the deadline day drama. Guhei was all smiles as he reported for England duty less than 24 hours from Monday's disappointment. But The Guardian reported on Tuesday that the player is extremely unhappy with Palace's late intervention and could give up the captaincy. There is no suggestion that Guhei will refuse to play for Palace, a la Alexander Isak, but his frustration is understandable given how his deadline day panned out. It is claimed that Guhei is expected to release a statement on the failed move soon. Palace boss Glasner had made no secret of his desire to keep Guhei in recent weeks. Speaking after Palace's 3-0 win against Aston Villa on Sunday, in which Guhei scored, Glasner said, "I told the chairman we have to keep Marc if we want to play a successful season. We have no chance to find the right replacement in one day. We all agreed that we just sell Marc if we have the right replacement in the building. We wanted a replacement by the 1st of July. It is the 31st of August and we have no replacement. We have this agreement, so it is clear from me. He is such a crucial player. He is one of our key players. He is our captain."